$90 million will be spent to restore electricity infrastructure on Abaco. Drugs found at Bahamas Customs and a structural fire kills 2. Good evening, everyone. I'm Leah Cooper with your JCN News for this Thursday, January 14th. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis announcing during the Bahamas Business Outlook webinar today that when completed, the total cost to restore the electricity infrastructure to the island of Abaco will be approximately $90 million, with already $27 million being spent to date. When it comes to the redevelopment and revitalization of Abaco and parts of Grand Bahama, Dr. Minnis says that there is still a long way to go, but the government is making steady progress. During the webinar, the Prime Minister also announced that the government will soon unveil the beta pilot of its one-stop shop citizen engagement portal to further advance the e-government initiative. The pilot will offer the renewal of driver's licenses, getting copies of birth, death, and marriage certificates, and applications for the renewal of adult e-passports. The government is also following another recommendation of the Economic Relief Committee and plans to accelerate the implementation of a sovereign wealth fund. The government has already executed a legal review of the Sovereign Wealth Fund Act of 2016 with a view to enhance the provisions of the legislation. Countries typically look to form a sovereign wealth fund to manage and invest excess cash from the royalties and budgetary surpluses. Dr. Minnis says while the Bahamas is not yet at that point in its development, he says that we have valuable land and other natural resource assets. 11 positions are expected to be made redundant at Morton Salt Company in Nagua as of January 15th. In a letter to the president of the Bahamas Industrial Manufacturers and Allied Workers Union obtained by JCN's news team, Morton Bahamas Limited General Manager informing Jennifer Brown that it had become necessary as a result of the prevailing circumstances, particularly those associated with plant efficiencies and associated with recent production levels, adding that efforts towards reassignment have been made to the greatest extent possible. However, there are currently no other positions within the company. Ms. Brown says that those redundancies are a breach of the union's industrial agreement.
Persons who they feel they have a problem with, because we have persons who are close to retirement, persons who are, the persons that they pick are very young persons who could still be on the job, and they just went through and just pick out who they wanted to pick out. And they didn't allow the union to have any say in it. They just made a decision and then gave the list to the union.
Ms. Brown, who leads close to 100 members, says that the union's industrial agreement has been in place since 2019 and is set to expire in 2023, and says she feels as if these redundancies are personal.
We went to a meeting on the 8th and they say this will be effective on the 15th because the industrial agreement says 45 days notice. And if you count last Friday, this Friday is just a week. You take it to the tribunal and let them decide what kind of fee or whatever penalty they're going to apply to them, but this is a breach of the industrial agreement.
Outside of unemployment, pending, the union is also battling the company for production bonuses. That's up to $1,250.
They have been reluctant to pay for the production bonus. They keep saying we have not made it. We have not about it. We had an outstanding production bonus, and we were told after the signing of the agreement that those persons would be paid because they paid us some of the production. They paid the balance. Now they claim that they don't owe us anything.
MBL stressed that it is necessary to make the employees redundant as the requirements for its employees to carry out work have diminished and are not expected to return for the foreseeable future. Our news team reached out to Labor Director John Pinder. Our calls were unsuccessful up to news time. A family is mourning the loss of 2 females after a fire engulfed a home off Cowpen Road early this morning. A female was found unresponsive by firefighters after they extinguished, and the other female succumbed to injuries at the hospital. Preliminary reports say shortly after 1 a.m., police received reports of a structural fire in progress on Williams Drive off Cowpen Road. Moments later, a fire Delta unit arrived on scene at a single-story orange and white stone structure and extinguished. The officers then breached the home and conducted a sweep of the residence. A male and female were rescued. Another female was found unresponsive in a northeastern bedroom. Emergency medical service responded to the scene, examined all the victims, and pronounced the female found in the bedroom unresponsive, lifeless. Medical technicians then transported 3 persons to the hospital, including an adult male, an adult female, a juvenile male. The female later succumbed to her injuries. Police are investigating this incident. According to the Aircraft Accident Investigation Authority, at 12:55 this afternoon, they were notified of a Piper Aztec with Bahamian registration C6TJJ inbound to the Nassau Cylinder-Pindling International Airport that was experiencing issues with its nose and left landing gear. The aircraft was originally en route to Deadman's Key, Long Island, when it encountered the malfunction. At 1:20 p.m., the pilot successfully executed a landing at LPIA with the use of only the right main landing gear. 4 persons were on board and there were no reported injuries. The AAIA has commenced investigation into this matter. A joint effort by the police and Bahamas Customs Department here in the capital resulted in a quantity of dangerous drugs being taken from the street on Wednesday. Police say shortly after 1 p.m., officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit and Bahamas Customs, acting on information while at Bahamas Customs headquarters on University Drive, conducted a search of a shipment that was transported into the Bahamas via an air cargo company. As a result, the officers discovered a quantity of suspected marijuana that was concealed in containers. The total weight of the drugs was 14 pounds. No arrest was made during this incident. However, investigations into this matter continue. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.